Okay, let us start. So first we'll offer prayers to our spiritual masters for their blessings so that we can receive their blessings to uh, discuss Srimad Bhagavatam for their pleasure. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saha Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी कृष्ण भानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you, dear devotees, for giving me an opportunity to join you for this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm very grateful to you for your friendship and this opportunity to discuss or lead the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is Amala Purana. It's a spotless scripture which is produced because of the conversation between two personalities. Who are those two personalities? Shukadeva Goswami and Parīkṣit Maharaj. So our today's verse is discussing the spotless nature of Parikshit Maharaj. So before we begin, we also say some prayers in glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Narayanam namaskrityam naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudiraye. Nashtapreshu bhadreshu nittam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhakti bhavti nashtaki. Krishna Sudhamapagate Dharma Gandhi Bhisaha Kalo Nashtam Vishamesha Purano Arkotanodita Anato Pashmam Sakshad Bhakti Yogamadoksaje Lokase Janata Vidvams Chakare Satata Samhitam Yasyam Vaishrimanayam Krishna Parama Purushe Bhakti Upadate Pumsam Shoka Moha Apaha. So these verses are glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. What are the benefits of Bhagavatam and what are the gifts of Bhagavatam? The most important gift of Bhagavatam, which is being said in the last word, which is just said, is Jasya Vai Shrimanayam Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Utpadate Pumsa Shoka Moh Bhayavaha. So we are living in a world that is always lamentation, fear, struggle. In this kind of world, what does Bhagavatam give? Bhagavatam gives freedom from all these three things. Shoka, which is fear, moha, attachment, and bhaya, lamentation and fear. It gives freedom from these three things and gives us bhakti, gives us pure love of God. So of course, this Bhagavatam won't be available to us unless we had received the shelter and the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by whose grace we have this Bhagavatam in front of us. So now we will say prayers in glorification of Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashta Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. And I will say as prayer also to my spiritual master. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Tinamane Namacharya Padaya Nita Kripa Padayine Gaur Katha Damodaya Nagara Gramatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Suru Namantriti Namine Prabhupada Manu Vishtam Vaje Bhava Samavishtam Shri Radha Karuna Pradam Namami Karuna Navam. So let us go and dive into the ocean, the sweet ocean of Srimad Bhagavatam. I will share my screen. And we can go from there. Let's scan to chapter 12, and we are on text number 16. Okay. Devana pratighātena shukle samstham upeshyusi rato va anugra arthaya Vishnuna Prabhavishnuna. I will think twice more. Daivena pratighatena shukle samstham upeyushi rato va anugraharthaya Vishnuna Prabhavishnuna. One more time. Daivena pratighatena shukle samstham upeyushi rato va anugraharthaya Vishnuna Prabhavishnuna. Okay, we'll go in turn so everybody can sing the verse one time.
Devena pratigatena shuklish samsam upiyushi rato vo anugrahartaya Vishnuna Prabha Vishnuna.
देवेन प्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थामुपेयुषि रतो व अनुग्रहार्थ्या विष्णुना प्रभविष्णुना.
दैवेन प्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थाम् उपेयुषि रातो अनुग्रहार्थाय विष्णुना प्रभविष्णुना.
दैवेन प्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थामुपेयुषि रातो वोऽनुग्रहार्थाय विष्णुना प्रभविष्णुना.
दैवेन प्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थामुपेयुषि रातो अनुग्रहार्थाय विष्णुना प्रभविष्णुना. दैवेन
दैवेन प्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थमुपेयुषे रातो अनुग्रहार्थाय विष्णुना प्रभविष्णुना.
दैवेन प्रतिघातेन शुक्ले संस्थाम् उपेयुषि रातो वोऽनुग्रहार्थाय विष्णुना प्रभविष्णुना.
That's everyone, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll do translation and purport. I'll do the translation and purport. The Brahmana said, "This spotless sun has been restored by all powerful, all pervasive Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, in order to oblige you. He was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by an irresistible supernatural weapon." Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The child Parīkṣit was saved by the all-powerful, all-pervasive Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, for two reasons. The first reason is that the child in the womb of his mother was spotless due to his being a pure devotee of the Lord. The second reason is that the child was the only surviving male descendant of Puru, the pious forefather of the virtuous King Yudhishthira. The Lord wants to continue the line of pious kings to rule over the earth as his representatives for the actual progress of a peaceful and prosperous life. After the battle of Kurukshetra, even up to the next generation of Mahayudhishthira was annihilated, and there were none who could generate another son in the great royal family. Mahat Parīkṣit, the son of Abhimanyu, was the only surviving heir apparent in the family, and by the irresistible, supernatural Brahmastra weapon of Ashwatthama, he was forced to be annihilated. Lord Krishna is described herein as Vishnu, and this is also significant. Lord Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, does the work of protection and annihilation in his capacity of Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. The all-pervasive activities of the Lord are executed by him in his Vishnu feature. Child Parīkṣit is described here as spotlessly white because he is an unalloyed devotee of the Lord. Such unalloyed devotees of the Lord appear on the earth just to execute the mission of the Lord. The Lord desires the conditioned souls hovering in the material creation to be reclaimed, to go back home, back to Godhead. And thus, he helps them by preparing the transcendental literatures like the Vedas, by sending missionaries of saints and sages, and by deputing his representative, the spiritual master. Such transcendental literatures, missionaries, and representatives of the Lord are spotlessly white because the contamination of the material qualities cannot even touch them. They are always protected by the Lord when they are threatened with annihilation. Such foolish threats are made by the gross materialist. The Brahmastra, which was thrown by the Ashwatthama at the child Parikshit, was certainly supernaturally powerful, and nothing of the material world could resist its force of penetration. But the all-powerful Lord, who is present everywhere, within and without, could counteract it by his all-powerful potency, just to save a bona fide servant of the Lord, and the descendant of another devotee, Maharaj Yudhishthir, who was always obliged by the Lord by his causeless mercy. This is a power-packed purport because Srila Prabhupada in this purport touches a number of different points on which we can meditate and derive so much inspiration. So first, Srila Prabhupada is discussing that what are the two different reasons why Parikshit was saved. The first reason which is being given is that the child was actually a pure devotee. So what's the point? The pure devotees are always saved, always protected by the Lord. They never have to worry. What are the examples of pure devotees who are protected by the Lord? Can somebody give some examples from scriptures?
Gajendra.
Gajendra was a pure devotee, yes.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj, yes.
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj, very good.
Pandavas.
Who else? The Pandavas, yes, the Pandavas. There were so many cases. One time, Duryodhana, he had up this plan that he wanted them to be annihilated, them to be cursed. So he invited Durvasa Muni at his house with all the sages, and he fed them the best possible to the neck. And then he said, Durvasa Muni asked him, what can I give you as a benediction? He said, you know what? You gave us so much benediction, you gave us so much chance to feed you. I want the same benefit and I want the same blessings to come to my brother also. So why don't you go and see them right now? Now, Duryodhana knew that at that moment in the day, Draupadi would have already finished eating. And once she finished eating, the pot which produces the food would not be able to produce any more food. So then Durvasa Muni will go there and he will end up cursing the Pandavas. So then he was planning that in his mind, and he sent Durvasa Muni along with all the sages there. So they all went there, and Pandavas saw them. Now, usually Pandavas would be happy, but now at this moment they were very much surprised and distressed. Why? Because they all also knew that Draupadi had this one pot which she had received from Suryadev, which can produce food for everybody until and unless she has eaten it. And it was already past noon, so she had already taken food. So there was no way, no food could be prepared for 10,000 sages at such a short notice. Nevertheless, Yudhishthira asked Draupadi to help. So Draupadi, what did she do? She, from the bottom of her heart, started crying out to Krishna for help. He said, oh Krishna, oh Krishna, oh Krishna, I'm in a difficult situation because if I can't feed these sages, then all my husbands, they will receive the curse. And it will be very bad for my family. Please protect me. Krishna appeared that very moment. And Krishna said, oh Draupadi, actually he addressed Draupadi at that time as Krishna because Draupadi's another name is Krishna. Why? Because she is also dark colored like Krishna. Anybody who's dark colored can be called Krishna. In fact, Arjuna also is dark colored. So Arjuna also has the name Krishna. So she said, oh Krishna, why are you distressed? And he said, I have nowhere to feed the sages who have come. He said, no, check your pot. There's some food left. He said, no, show him the pot. So Draupadi showed him the pot, it's empty. And there was one grain of rice left. And Krishna took that grain of rice and put it in his mouth. And Krishna said, "Oh wow, Tripto Asmi, I'm satisfied." Now, why was Krishna satisfied with his one grain of rice? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what he says that Bhaktam Abhijanati, that I am satisfied or I'm known only by the process of bhakti. There's another famous words about prasadam in the Gita. What are the words? Patram pushpam phalantoyam yome bhaktya prashati. There Krishna says twice that one has to offer these things with devotion. And if somebody offers with devotion, then I take it. Krishna is not going to eat so much the ingredients, but Krishna is more interested in the devotion which is packed up behind the ingredients. Adamon, you can close the door. Come in. So Krishna is hungry for the devotion, for the love. And because Draupadi, every day when she cooks, she's not only just cooking for her husband or her family, she's cooking for Krishna first and anybody else. So whenever she cooks, she first offers to Krishna. So anyway, there's a lot of love which is packed up behind that food. And when Krishna had a small grain of rice, his heart became filled. Filled with what? Filled with love which Draupadi had for Krishna. So Krishna didn't become full by just a grain of rice. He became filled with love of Krishna. Although Krishna is Supreme Lord, he cannot be captured by the biggest of the biggest sages and yogis and scientists, but he gets caught by Mother Yashoda's love. So that's the beauty of Krishna. He's Bhakta Vatsala. He gets captured by the love of his devotee. So because Draupadi had love for Krishna, she was able to capture and fill the stomach of Krishna. And when Krishna was satisfied, then all the sages got satisfied. Why? Because in the Bhagavatam it is said that Krishna is just like the root of the tree, and everybody else is the rest of the tree. When you satisfy Krishna, everybody else is satisfied. Like in this material world, no matter how much hard you work, how much money you earn, how much nice things you do for your family, kids, husband, no matter what you do for your family, they will always be dissatisfied. They will always say, I wish Roshni could do more for me. I wish Kalpana can do more for me. I wish Ashwarya could do more for me. But when we do something for Krishna's pleasure, then those relationships, those relatives of ours, they will naturally feel satisfied. They will naturally feel happy. So here we see the example of how different great devotees of the Lord, supreme of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord, are always protected by the Lord. As the example you gave is Pandavas. So here Pandava's great grandson was also protected, which is Kuru. The second reason which Prabhupada talks about why Parīkṣit Maharaj was protected was because Krishna wanted to continue the line of pious kings. So Krishna always wants pious people to rule over the earth. And somebody may say, oh really? If that's the case, why do we have rulers like right now we have all around the world? People are killing each other, they're fighting for no reason. I mean, of course, somebody can find fault with Trump, but the other people whom he's fighting, they're also no less. They're also demons. It's demons fighting against demons. So the thing is that sometimes, for some short durations, it is demons who rule. Because if you notice, there's a Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. So Kali Yuga is only 1/10 of the whole period. Right, rest 9/10 is all ruled by pious people. But 1/10 of the whole Yuga, there are some demons who rule. But even they also are not that crazy demons. They end up mostly killing themselves, as we are seeing right now. They destroy each other, they destroy each other's armies, because there's no way there's all this big ammunition can be destroyed. So they end up, destroying themselves. So that is why, for some period of the time, 1/10 of the Yuga, we have this situation. Nevertheless, even in this dark period, we have the biggest benediction, because when there is more difficulty and Krishna sees that we are living in an age where there is so much difficulties, where we have short lives, weak memories, we're constantly disturbed by by phone or so many different things, and we are lazy and misguided. So in this age, there is special benediction. What is special benediction? That Kale dosha niderajan asti eko mahadguna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param vajit. Then in its current age, the benediction is that simply by chanting the Lord's holy name, one gets perfection. In other ages, we needed a lot of hard work, a lot of meditation, a lot of austerities, a lot of big sacrifices. But in the current age, because the Lord sees that we are at a big disadvantage, so He has made the process easier. The process is very easy. If we can chant the Supreme Lord's name, we can go back from this world to where we are meant to be. And Prabhupada says there, the Lord desires. What is desires? the conditioned souls hovering in the material world creation to be reclaimed to go back home, back to Godhead. And thus, he helps them by preparing the transcendental literatures like the Vedas, by sending missionaries of saints and sages, and by deputing his representative, the spiritual master. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Lord helps the souls by giving three things. First of all, what's the goal? The goal is to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, what does this statement mean? To go back home, back to Godhead. Can anybody explain to me? वायरस कर दोगे डिस्टर्बेंस होती है तुम्हारा खोला होगा anybody yes go ahead
To go back to spiritual world from this material world where
yes
eternal.
Yes, the important part is yes, go back to spiritual world, but the important part is go back home. What is the meaning of home? Means ghar, where we belong. Just like right now, Roshni was saying that all the people from India are about to join, or they're not join. They're going to join. Why did you say India? Because we understand we all belong to India. That's our home. But actually, our real home is where? Our real home is in the spiritual world. Is with the Lord. So the Lord wants that we go back to Godhead. And we go back to our home, which is our real home. So this is something which we need to remind us every day. We don't belong to India. That is, in this lifetime, we have this body type. But actually, our real home is in the spiritual world, is with the Lord's pastimes, is the Lord's place. So this is what is being, this is the goal. And that being the goal, there are three things which are given to us. One is the books. Second is great devotees. I guess there's a second thing, there are only two things, books and the devotees. Book Bhagavata and the person Bhagavata. So now, so Krishna always protects this Bhagavatas, the great devotees of the Lord, so that they can speak about the book Bhagavata. They can give us a message of the Supreme Lord. So that is, in one sense, the brief message of this purport. Now, this giving of the message of Bhagavata, which we have received, which we which is our main weapon or the main vehicle for going back to Godhead, we can only receive when we have a connection with a great devotee of the Lord. I was just reading this section this morning where Haridas Thakur was meeting with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing his Leela of Mahaprakash. During Mahaprakash Leela, what does Mahaprabhu does? He actually acts as Krishna. I am guessing everybody here knows about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mostly in the mood of Radharani. She's mostly in the mood of a devotee of the Lord. But once in a while, he acts like Krishna. So at one such time, he had a Leela called Mahaprakash Leela, where for 21 hours, he was in the mood that he is a great devotee of the Lord. And when he was a great devotee of the Lord, when he acted as Supreme Lord himself, he said, "Oh, devotees, bring items to do Abhishek for me." So everybody came, bought Ganga water, bought oil, bought food items, bought incense. They were doing arti for him. They were singing for him. They were bathing him. And they did all that. And then he was calling each individual devotee. And he was asking each individual devotee, "What benediction do you want?" So he called Haridas Thakur. I think everybody knows about Haridas Thakur. He's famous for chanting, 192 rounds and more. And he asked Haridas Thakur, "What do you want at the benediction?" And what did Haridas Thakur say? What did he want at the benediction? Let's see if you can guess. Let me tell you, he asked for something which we all hanker for the most. What is that thing which brings us to temple or devotee association?
Problems?
Say again, Ronit?
Are these like problems in life?
No. I guess problems happen once in a while. You don't come to temple each temple to ask help for the problem. It's a very simple thing. What is that thing which calls us to the temple?
To see Krishna.
To see Krishna, that only wherever you can do that. But rest of others come for other reasons. My friend here is saying sabji. It's prasadam. So Haridas Thakur said, "I want the benediction that my only service, my primary and most prominent service B, that I receive the remnants of a great devotee as prasadam every day. So that's what he wanted as a service. That's also a very important service, that we get to honor the remnants of great devotees. Now, how can you receive remnants of great devotees? Can you receive them by staying in Michigan, by staying in Ohio, by staying? Yes, you can receive anywhere and everywhere. It's a matter of we finding the association. So when somehow that we get the association of great devotees of the Lord by staying next to them, by spending time with them, by serving them, we receive their remnants. Remnants are of two types. One, what they speak from their mouth, and two, what they have eaten and something is left. Those are both considered remnants. So Haridas Thakur wanted the association of great devotees, because that is what is as being said here, that Krishna is kind, but Krishna's devotees are even more kind. So as and when we have association of great devotees of the Lord, then by their remnants we get uplifted, because they know what is missing in our heart, how to cultivate our heart. Just like a farmer knows exactly how to grow grains because he knows the science. Similarly, great devotees know how to grow the creeper of love in our heart. We can read in the book, but unless we have the experience of growing, we won't be able to do a proper job. So we may have access to books, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, but unless and until we take shelter of great devotees of the Lord, we can never progress in spiritual life. It will always remain a thing in the sky. Like many of us struggle with our spiritual practices. They go up and down. They go up and down. Why? Because we don't have strong association with great devotees. The more time we spend in association with great devotees, the more we progress in spiritual life. It is as simple as possible. So you can count how many hours in a day, how many days in a year, how many months or how many weeks in a year do you spend in direct association with great devotees, healing for them and taking their remnants. To that much degree, you would have made spiritual progress. And that is why Krishna is sending us the books and the great devotees, as is being said here. So that is the method which is being also spoken by Haridas Thakur, that let my most prominent and primary service be that I get to honor the remnants of great devotees of the Lord. So we should be planning in our life, when is the next time I can go and associate with great devotees? When is the next time I can honor their prasadam? I can spend time with them. Isn't it? Instead of just an hour in a week or a couple of days in a year, we should think about it, how we can spend a week with them, how we can spend a couple of weeks with them in the association. Have you thought about that yet? If not, now is the moment to think about, because our spiritual progress is proportional to how much time we spend with them. So Haridas Thakur asked for this. Then there were other devotees also who were asked, what do you want? And they were all somehow or other connecting to this point. They all wanted association of the great devotees a lot. Just like Parīkṣit Maharaj. Parīkṣit Maharaj, before the Bhagavatam started, he asked all the sages present there, "Oh sages, please give me a benediction." What's the benediction? That if I were to take birth again in the material world, please give me these three things. One, give me association of great devotees. Two, give me a taste of hearing Hari Katha from them. And three, give me an attitude by which I can have friendship with everybody around the world. So, association of great devotees is the most important item, which comes again and again in Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the lives of great devotees. And it is something also which we miss a lot, like our dear Srila Prabhupada. He did not receive so much physical association with his spiritual master, but at the core of his forehead was always this point, that how he can satisfy his spiritual master. That's another way of associating with great devotees. Suppose you are in a situation where you can't associate with them so much. Then at the top of your mind or your forehead or top of your nose, you should always think about every day, what can I do to please or to fulfill the instruction of my spiritual master, of the great devotee. But of course, for that, you have to make a relationship with that person. You make a relationship with that person, and then that should be in your forehead of your mind. That way also you can associate with them. So Srila Prabhupada made his bread and butter every day and out. He was just thinking, How can I teach this Krishna consciousness in the Western countries? Because that is the instruction I received from my spiritual master. His godbrothers laughed at him. He said, "You will go outside?" At this age, people scoffed at him. Then was that the person? There was this lady who was in charge of the shipping company. What was her name? You remember?
Mm,
Something Sumati Murari.
Yeah.
Sumati Murari, and she said, "Are you old guy? Old man? Have you gone mad? At this age of 70, you want to go to West to preach?" And Prabhupada said, "No, I'm not going to budge from my thing." He sat outside the door of Sumati Morarji for days, not eating anything. And then her heart changed. She didn't want him to go. But Srila Prabhupada was fixated that he wanted to fulfill the desires of our spiritual master, of his spiritual master. Similarly, if we can have in forefront of our eyes their instruction, or that's actually a higher stage, first and foremost, we should try and spend as much time as possible in hearing from them and taking their remnants. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way in our spiritual life possible. So, Krishna has sent us the books and the great devotees. For even unlocking the books, we need the help of great devotees. So, somehow or other, we have to throw ourselves in the association of great devotees. Like just today, we are throwing ourselves in the association of Prabhupada, reading his books. That's also wonderful because that's, we are hearing his words, that's associating with him. However, that doesn't take away the point. If we can have personal association with great devotees, then that's really, really magnificent. So I'll stop here and we'll take any comments anybody has, any realizations they want to share. Comments or realization or reflections could be just 1 or 2 points, which by which you can say that, like something which you want to take home. I would like everybody to share something which they would like to take home from this purport or this translation or a thought they may have. See, in India, when somebody gives a class like a Bhagavatam or Katha, then afterwards, all the people who are in the audience, they give a donation. Now, you can't give me a donation. I'm far away from you. So, your donation could be you all should speak something which you liked from the purport or translation or from this discussion.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I don't have a question. I think it was nice to hear the introduction to the chapter, to this verse. Thank you.
I don't understand. What did you say, Praneeth?
I don't have a question or a reflection. I think it was just nice to hear your description of this verse.
Well, share something which you like to take home. What do you want to take home from this discussion?
I would say,
See, we are personal people. Suppose you go to eat dinner at Roshni's place and you say food was very nice. But she'll ask you, what did you like? Did you like the sweet? Did you like the chapati? Did you like the paneer sabji? Did you like the pakoras? You have to tell what you liked. Otherwise, you didn't like anything. Otherwise, it was a false comment. It was just like you just said it because of the sake of saying it. We have to tell what you like. Otherwise, she won't be happy. Similarly, we have to tell what did you like here from the purport or translation or discussion. Otherwise, we were not paying attention or we didn't appreciate it enough. We are personal. Personal means we have to be specific.
I am just liking the details of the verse about like the reasons Maharaj Parīkṣit was saved. I think, I'm not able to fully appreciate this verse yet, so I think I'll have to reread this again. But
Okay.
the reasons were something like some were very practical, and then one was also very spiritual, where he was a pure devotee. That was being listed as the first reason is interesting to me. And the second reason was a more realistic reason of him being the only surviving male descendant of Guru. So even I think in my life, I'm like, when I'm trying to do something, I'll try to find a reason that's beyond just the materialistic experience. If I'm doing something or any action in my work, mostly, I think it doesn't just have to be bound by materialistic needs. So yeah, so I think in those sense, because Maharaj Parikshit, he didn't know, like he was born a pure devotee. So while we don't have that kind of fortune, I'm mostly just trying to purify my desires. So I think the peace that comes with reading this, I think, is what I like.
Very good. I like how you made it very practical in a sense that yes, we're not born pure devotees. We're nowhere compared to what Parikshit Maharaj was. Yet he was also the king, and we have also duties to perform. Like Praneeth goes to work. I'm sure most of us, most of the people here are going to work. They're graduating soon or already graduated. Except Roshni, probably she's a PhD student, but she also goes to work there. So then, how can we offer everything which we do to Krishna? And as you said, Praneeth, very nicely, Krishna says for this also he gives a discussion. He says in the Gita that whatever you do, whether you eat, whatever work you do, you offer that to me. Even if you just say to Krishna, Krishna, I offer this to you, without offering anything to him. Krishna is so crazy for love that just a sweet statement from you attracts him. And if you oh, Praneeth is offering me this thing with love, I'll accept it. He doesn't know what to do with the work which you did, but he's just happy that you offered him love, that you took a moment to think about him. So this is very beautiful, very good exercise which you're doing. That whatever work you do, you offer that to Krishna. Krishna says, "Yat karoshi yat asnasi," that whatever you work, whatever you eat, offer it to me. So that's a very good principle, and that definitely will purify our material desires. So one day we can also have pure desires, just like Parikshit Maharaj, pure devotee. Very good, Praneeth. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. No, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I'll go next. Thank you so much for the class, Prabhuji. Very grateful. I'm sorry for joining the class after it started. Two things, Prabhuji, for me. One is, again, reaffirmation coming from your side that Krishna is only captured by love or like intention, like pure intention and devotion, because oftentimes I get into this cycle where of like, let's say, like inferiority complex or a comparison where I kind of self-doubt that I'm not able to like do as much, or like it's like comparison and like not able to please, and then end up doing nothing. But then like it's reaffirming that it's not the amount but just the intent or devotion that Krishna actually sees. So that is one thing, Prabhuji. Second thing is I always had this notion of like taking eminence was just like in terms of prasadam, but I think you opened a new dimension of saying it's not just like, I mean, definitely it's prasadam too, but it's also like the words or association. And then as you took it a step further, saying that if we are not in a position of having direct association, how we can always keep thinking and try to like serve or be into service for them. So I think that was really, really
Right.
very inspiring, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Krishna, really appreciate your comments. So the first comment, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, which I quoted also earlier, Bhaktyama abhijanati yavan yash tasmi tatvata. So Krishna says, only by having bhakti one can know me. It is not by, Krishna is not saying only by making a big temple you will come to know me. Or if you were to distribute 1,000,000 books, you will come to know me. Or if you distribute so much prasadam, you will come to know me. No. He says, only by having love for me, bhakti. So it's very important that we focus on the element of bhakti, because sometimes people get caught up in a material situation but forget bhakti is very important. Just like Praneeth said, he can be doing his work, but at the end of the work, he takes a moment and says, Krishna, I offer this to you. Then you can be taking a shower, and after taking a shower, you can say, Krishna, I offer my shower to you. I'm getting clean for your pleasure. You must be cleaning a room. After cleaning the room, you can say, Krishna, I clean this room for you. And Krishna gets captured by those small expressions of love. To your second point, actually, it is quite adventurous to use our skills and capabilities while we are young in Krishna's service. Because think of this, Krishna, now you are so smart. You work for such seven big companies, and they pay you for your intelligence. But what kind of payment they can give you? Maybe a few $1,000s, some stocks. It's got nothing comparable to what you can receive when you do the same thing for Krishna's pleasure. Because Krishna, when you think about how to use intelligence for serving Krishna, Krishna will give you so many challenges and so much happiness, which is uncomparable. This is I'm speaking from personal experience that I've had so much adventures in my whole life, and even now also, it's a new adventure. I'm doing this project in India, which I never thought I would do, and it's full of excitement every moment. There is risk, and there is I don't know what will happen next, but at the same time, it just gives me so much happiness that I'm doing something which brings pleasure to the face of Krishna. And just thinking of this, that it brings smile on the face of Srimati Radharani, Krishna, and Prabhupada makes me so much joyful. So right now, when you're young and you're intelligent, you're using your intelligence for serving Krishna by fulfilling the orders of your spiritual master. That is the most adventurous, you can say, phase of your life. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Go next.
Oh, Harsh, do you want to go next?
No, you continue. Sorry.
I think from today's class, my takeaway is like I do understand that I might not start as a pure devotee, but I want to believe that probably I'm on a path. If I remain sincere, I'm on a path towards something. I am not sure if I can attain the status of a pure devotee as Maharaj Parīkṣit was born with, but I feel like my takeaway was like if I stay sincere, I'm always protected by Krishna. Like Maharaj Parīkṣit was, like even though he was like even before he was born or even before he had any consciousness, just because he was a pure devotee. So having that faith in Krishna would probably be my takeaway. And of course, the idea of like looking towards a sincere path of becoming a pure devotee. I don't know.
Very good, Pratibha. Very good point that how you are saying that if we are sincere and although we're not pure, but we're on the path because we're on the path to pure devotion, Krishna protects us. In fact, one time Prabhupada was having a conference with journalists, and journalists asked him, "Oh dear Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there in your movement?" Prabhupada turned to another devotee and said, how many people are in how many people are in our movement?" They said about 500. Oh yeah, so we have 500 pure devotees. So all the devotees were shocked. 500 pure devotees? And Prabhupada said yes, because anybody who is on the journey to becoming a pure devotee, he's very soon going to become a pure devotee. So from the perspective of Prabhupada, they're already a pure devotee. So Pratibha, I congratulate you that you have this goal in your mind that you want to become pure devotee. And it's a rare thing to have such a goal in life. You don't understand. You have right now, set the goal which millions of people are not even aware of. And just because you have set that goal, now Krishna and Krishna's energies, which means the whole universe, will make sure that you will have all the resources to reach that goal. Because Krishna, more than you, wants you back home. So now that he knows, hey, Pratibha finally wants to come back home. Okay, we're gonna make plan. So Krishna is definitely protecting for you and watching for you. Now somebody may say, hey, everybody says that they are sincere. So how do we know whether we are sincere or not? A test is by how do we act. Otherwise, how many people on a Saturday morning come together and discuss Bhagavatam? Just because you're coming and discussing Bhagavatam on a Saturday morning, you have already scored a big check on the check mark list of Krishna. You say, here you go. She is the right person. She really wants me. That is why on Saturday morning, she's making time to chant and study Bhagavatam. So you are becoming, with every time we attend Bhagavatam class on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning, we attend some program, we are becoming hundreds of steps closer to Krishna. It's an activity which brings him so much happiness we can't even imagine. So Pratibha, you're on a very fast track to becoming a pure devotee, and most likely in this lifetime.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks for sharing the story and the insights.
Yes.
That's very reassuring. I think I'm very far away from being one.
Yes,
Yes, I am trying to be a sincere. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, Mother, next one.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandit Pranam. Thank you so much for the beautiful insights and the reflections or explanations. The most beautiful point always is to have that mood of devotion rather than just doing it for the sake of serving the Lord. So that is always the highlighted point for any neophyte devotees to progress. And this point where it is always mentioned we have to do something for Krishna, that Krishna comes behind us, just like he directly goes to Mother Yashoda and get binded by her. So we should have that mood of service towards Krishna, so that he comes and gets binded in our hearts and with our devotion. So that is the beauty of actually setting our goal high to reach that level of devotion. And yeah, and that way Krishna, like, we are unnecessary, I personally take unnecessary worry or any other tension, but there's nothing we can do. We can just do our duty and be peaceful. Krishna is taking care of everything in the background. So if we realize that point, then everything gets sorted out and simplified. So yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
You're welcome, Mother. Thank you. I don't have to add anything. You already said so beautifully.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Every time you join us, you put it in such a nice way for all of us who do not have that depth. It feels so practical and attainable or achievable. Otherwise, as Pratya is saying, it just feels like far away and maybe not even in the lifetime or whenever we get your association. It feels a little bit more attainable or achievable. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. I'll tell you one more story in that regard. One time, Ayendra Prabhu was in a room, and there was another devotee, Eklavya Prabhu, who is a very famous Kirtaniya. Right now, I think he received also sannyas. His name is now Bhakti Chaitanya Swami. And that time, Eklavya Prabhu was having a conversation with somebody else in the room. And he was saying, you know what? Just like Pratibha was saying, you know what? Maybe, it will take me some lifetimes to become a pure devotee. Because, it's such a hard process. It's not easy at all. So what happened at that point? Ayendra Prabhu was in the another corner of the room. He grabbed a chair, a plastic chair in his hand, and he threw it at Eklavya Prabhu. He said, never said it that it would take you, just come here to me. Never say that it will take you more than one lifetime to achieve become a pure devotee. In this lifetime only, we have to become pure devotees. So don't have any doubt about that. And it is possible not because of our hard work, but because we should think about the grace of our teachers. Dear Srila Prabhupada, he is a Senapati Bhakta. He has come specifically to grab those who have run away from India. We are those Indians who have run away from India, who didn't take the message of Krishna. So for us, Prabhupada specifically come. And we can be assured that if we take shelter of Prabhupada as much as possible, try to do activities for his pleasure, reading Bhagavatam for his pleasure, chanting every day for his pleasure, he is there to give us the support which we need. So yes, in this lifetime, we want to become pure devotees. Never have a doubt of anything more than that.
Uh, and one takeaway, thank you, Prabhuji. And one takeaway for me, or like something that I'd like to incorporate in my sadhana, is that mainly because Krishna sees the intention and not how much we do. Sometimes, or more often than not, what I tend to do is while I'm doing whatever little I'm doing at sadhana, I'm always thinking about all the other things. While mechanically I'm getting done with this. Like I have a meeting, I have a project that I have deadline for. I have to tell this in that meeting. I have to tell that in the meeting. I should sound smart in that meeting and things like that. So I want to personally focus on whatever little I'm doing with all of my heart for whatever limited time that I'm doing it, rather than just doing it mechanically. Yeah, that's all.
Yes, very good. Thank you for sharing that. Let that be all of our goal. Hopefully we can all do all those things just like you were saying. Okay, anybody else?
Prabhuji, firstly, thank you for the great reflections and the revelations, Prabhuji. I think for me, what I'll take away from today is that mm, the constant remembrance, Prabhuji, that Krishna is also like looking out for us, just like how we are looking out for him. So many times, personally, I'm just too engrossed in material things that at times I feel all alone doing things. But I think the remembrance that he's always ready to help us, I think, is very comforting. And I think, like you said, to have the association of pure devotees, I think we just need to pray firstly for the association of them, and then
Right.
do bhakti with whatever we have and just direct everything we do towards him. So I think that's what I'll take today, Prabhuji.
Very good. Yes, sometimes we become hopeless because Krishna seems like a very far away thing. And that is why we need friends like Roshni, Pratibha, Geetika, because these friends they remind us in those hopeless times that Krishna is there watching for us and they help us keep us going. So it's very good that we have such nice group of devotees here who's going to watch out for each other. And of course, all our prayers should be that how can we have association of Prabhupada and the great devotees? Because if we capture Prabhupada, the only great devotee in our heart, then Krishna is already captured. Capturing Krishna directly could be it would be a hard thing, but capturing devotee is a little easier. And capturing Krishna, a devotee of the Lord means Krishna is already captured. So it's a good prayer to have while chanting, while doing service. Oh Krishna, please give me association of your great devotees. That should be our prayer. Because if a great devotee is coming in our life, Krishna is already there.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome, Manogya. Thank you for sharing that. Who's next?
Go next.
Okay, Harsh.
Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Sorry for being late. Um, I loved every part that I heard. Specifically, that association of a pure devotee is the most essential. And even if you don't get physical association, just his Vani can have so much effect. And you correlating with Prabhupada, that everything that he did was just to please his Guru Maharaj.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the way. Thank you, Prabhu.
You're welcome. There was a great devotee of the Lord. His name was Srivas Thakur, Srivas Pandit. When he used to hear Bhagavatam, he will go unconscious. He will cry. He will roll on the ground. So one time he was attending a Bhagavatam class. Just come. Last 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. Yes. I have to go. So he used to cry and he used to roll on the ground. So one time Devanda Pandit was giving a class and he was not a great devotee, but he was speaking on the Bhagavatam. So hearing him, just like her, she went into ecstasy. Srivas Pandit, and he started crying. So Devanda Pandit said, "What is this guy doing? We are reciting Bhagavatam. Why is he crying? Why is he weeping? Throw him out." So he had become unconscious. They threw him out. He didn't. When he woke up out of his unconscious, he was sad that I was just absorbed in Bhagavatam, but what happened to me? So then Krishna came in his heart and gave him so much happiness, so much justification that when he started reading Bhagavatam by himself, he felt again the ecstasy. So if we are good, if we are on this path of journey of spiritual life, then when we hear Bhagavatam, then every part of it, every word of it gives us ecstasy. Just like Harsh is saying, that he enjoyed every aspect of it. Why? Because he's becoming a devotee. As and when we become devotees, and everything we discuss in Bhagavatam will give us so much joy. There's no end to it. So I have to end here because my friends are waiting and they're going to kill me if I stay any more longer. So thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.